Next, we'll move to Sean Ross Sapp with Fightful.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. We've heard about maybe some mentalities and processes in the past about wrestlers going from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. How has that changed since you all landed on prime time on cable TV? Because I'm sure it's nice to have some of those wrestlers move to Raw and SmackDown, but you all also have your own prime time 2-hour TV slot to worry about now.
Yeah, and that definitely has changed that mindset, right? When there's different protocol and procedures around, hey, we'd like to move this talent, we'd like to do that, and you'll see that coming up in the draft and later in the year, and you definitely have to think about it a lot more and think about those changes. But I think long term, it's better for everybody. It's the opportunity to somebody wears has their run in SmackDown or their run in Raw, they can come back and totally change gears in a brand that feels totally different with a bit of a different style in NXT. Maybe refresh and go someplace else to get a fresh coat of paint. Maybe they're doing something that didn't work. Maybe they want to try something completely different. When you see talent that have been in the same company, and I go back to the beginning of my career, to me, when I came into WWE and I would talk to Undertaker early, and he'd talk about being been in the company for 5 or 6 years, that was unthinkable to me. Like, it just was like unreal that somebody could be that long in one place, in one company, and still be successful. And it was, hard to believe. And now you have a lot of talent that have been in the company for 10 years, 15 years, whatever. I think to have that ability to move around, refresh, put a fresh coat of paint on something, start over with a different character or a different take on who they are, I think that's important for everybody. And I think this opens up the door for them to be able to do that because, like you said, everybody having their own prime time live spot, the brands all become important in their own right, and you can't just take away from one, to support the other. You have to support all of them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
We'll next move to James Barcelone with Miami Herald.
Hey, congratulations on NXT TakeOver 30. Awesome accomplishment.
Thank you.
Want to talk about Karrion Kross. What does he bring to the table? And also, to follow up a little bit on the brands, does having him, a Keith Lee, or any of the talent, because Karrion's been there a few months, and I know he's wrestled for 6+ years, but with him and with others, is the mindset, hey, if we have a chance and they're ready, let's have these big matches as soon as we can, rather than wait because we might lose them to Raw or SmackDown?
Well, I think, so, one, let's go to Karrion. He's a phenomenal talent. I've seen him for a long time. Thought he just got a charisma and an aura about him to me when I've seen him in other places, even just in bits and pieces, where you weren't really seeing the deep dive into who or what he was. You were really just seeing kind of him performing, but you could sense that X factor and that character, and to me, that's still king. No matter what anybody says about any other aspect of the business, charisma and that X factor is king for any talent, and he has that and then some. The learning curve is steep when you get to the WWE and to NXT, and it's a different product. It really is. There's a television component to this that is different from anything else, and I believe it's why you see difference in performers that have been here from anywhere else. That's just the facts, and he's a sponge for the business and for learning it, and it's one of the things about him. He's constantly asking questions, and he is a sponge. His improvement rate and growth rate has been incredible just since walking through the door. Much like Keith, I think everybody has their own pathway, and it also depends on the moment in times of when they're walking in the door. It's not about getting to things faster. It's about getting to them, one, in the most meaningful way possible for them and for the fans, but also knowing where you're going long term, as you mentioned, across the brands. And, you know, if you know, not in this instance, but if you know somebody is leaving or you know somebody's doing something else, or whatever that is, you look at it differently and how you want to move across those storylines. When you know, I use the example with Matt Riddle when we knew when that move happened to SmackDown. You know, we had the advance notice to know. We booked accordingly. Got to a place, you know, we're able to do the fight pit with him and Thatcher, and it went out on a spectacular note, and it was great for him and great for everybody else. So those are the goals, is really to do things in the most meaningful way possible for everybody across the board, but also not rushing talent and not putting them in positions where, and this is always hard for everybody to understand and for them to understand, but you have to make a judgment call of when they're ready to handle things in the best way possible. You want everybody to succeed in the biggest way possible and give them the opportunity to succeed. So if you feel like, man, I can put them in this right now, but it's a bit risky on this factor, let's clear that up. Let's get them where we're comfortable with all of that, and then do it, and it'll be that much bigger, so that they have every tool in their tool bag to knock it out of the park when they get the opportunity.
Hey, thank you, Paul.
Next, we'll move to Justin DeBar with Vested Open Radio, Sirius XM.
Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Paul. So every Thursday, the television numbers come out, and, you know, there's one side of the coin, people looking at, you know, who has the most viewership on Wednesday nights with really goes to pro wrestling. And then it's no, it's not viewership, it's the 18 to 49 key demo. Then no, it's who's in what quarter hours. It's kind of become a funny, comical thing to watch every Thursday to see fans and fan bases go back and forth. Where do you stand? What do you interpret? What do you focus on? What do you deem success?
Well, I'm focused on NXT, really, and it's a funny thing because you see all the chatter and you see people arguing and they're like, geez. I guess for a lot of people, it's a part of that argument and that level of engagement. I mean, thank God they do. They're interested in the industry and the product and everything else. So the arguments about it are passionate and, as you said, entertaining. At the end of the day, for me, it's about our product and our fans. We put out the best product we can. You hope fans enjoy it, and you hope they want to watch. And that's really what you do. And if you're putting out a great, fun product and fans want to watch it, phenomenal. If they're not, then you got to rethink it, and you got to go in a different direction. We look at the breakdown of things much differently. You know, obviously, you want the shows to be successful, but you're looking at the numbers and what worked, what didn't, why, little trends of different things between. You know, did these segments drop off when we went to this? Did it pick up when it went to that? For small reasons, not necessarily always you know, people just jump to the biggest conclusion they can. Oh, this number went down, that talent's not over. There's so many variables and factors in this, which is why people can argue about it from beginning of the morning till the end of the day. They can just go back and forth and argue, and you can make arguments one way, you can make arguments another. Have at it. I don't worry about those arguments. I don't worry about the conversations. I don't worry about all that other stuff. I worry about NXT and making the best product possible. How are the talent performing? What can we do better? How can we write better shows? How can we tell better storylines? What people are, you know, enjoying and what they're not. And I'll be honest with you, I can't wait. The fans of the WWE Universe, our fans, it is why we do what we do, and having them in an arena to let you know what they love and they don't love. That's your true barometer. Social, you know, all the digital interactions. You know, there's so many factors to that, and so much negativity to it, and then just people arguing. It's hard to filter through everything. The true reactions are when you're in arenas and you have fans and they can tell you what they think, what they like, what they don't like. That's the true reaction. So, you know, can't express to you how much I miss that. Years ago we put out the video where Daniel Bryan walked into the empty arena. Who would have ever thought, right? And to some degree, that's where we are. Cannot wait to get them back and let them tell us so we can deliver to them exactly what they want.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, and have a good one this weekend.
Thank you, man.
Hey guys, we have time for a few more questions. We haven't gotten any international questions as yet. Operator, are you able to pull one or two international outlets?
Yes, certainly. Let me go to Miguel Lucinda with Mundo Deportivo.
Hello.
Miguel, your line is open. Please go ahead.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Some of the NXT talents were posed up to Monday Night Raw to compete on Raw Underground. Would this be something usual from now on, and could you explain us the process of deciding who's moving there or not?
Yeah, I think Raw Underground is a unique environment, and I think that a lot of it is a unique opportunity for certain talent that have a particular skill set to show off a little bit more of what they can do. And I don't necessarily mean that they have to be, have a legitimate shoot fight background, but that can handle that different style, and it's a very cool opportunity. And I don't necessarily believe that, as you've seen over the coming weeks or the last few weeks, that seeing a talent on Raw Underground means they are now a Raw talent or anything else. I think there's opportunities for people to come in and crisscross and have a moment in time where they do well in a different environment, or they don't do well in that different environment, and see what happens. But all those things are great opportunities to expose a large audience to new talent and their skill sets, and see where that goes. So for me, I like it, and it's a unique opportunity. And anytime you can give someone an opportunity, it's great.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to Raul Sadler with Indian Express.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Raul.
Hi. So my question is, keeping the larger film time, without any crowd reactions, without any adrenaline rush, how difficult has it been for the talent to prepare mentally? So not only talent, but everybody associated with that position.
I think it's difficult. It's and as a performer, there is no bigger adrenaline rush, or it's why you do what you do. That crowd, that rush of excitement, that energy that they give you, it's why you do what they do, or why you do what you do. You can't really put into words how much that means as a performer. So to be able to go out there and create that in and of yourself, to create that in your own mindset, the excitement, the energy level, just that impact of what you're doing, the gravity of what you're doing, the urgency of what you're doing, to create that in yourself is incredibly difficult. I've watched matches over the year over the years, and when I was coming up and was watching matches for myself, I used to turn the sound off a lot, to not have commentary and not have crowd noise, to see where people were doing different things, and the energy levels and the changes, the gear changes, all those different things within the business. To me, that's a big learn factor, and then watching it back with the sound on and seeing what drove them to do different things. You gear what you do towards that crowd, and when there isn't one there, it's tough, because you're trying to create that in your own mind and react to it accordingly. So it's been extremely difficult, but my hat is off to everybody, men, women, everybody across the board, on what we do, even commentary teams and ring announcers, everything. they're bringing their own energy every week, not in a perfect scenario. This isn't, it's not the product you want to be able to give everybody, but everybody is, in my opinion, knocking it out of the park to give fans the best that they can. And I know there's a lot of, people talk about a lot of things, but everything that we are doing is to try to deliver to our fans a product that they can enjoy and going to extraordinary lengths to continue to provide that for them. Everything we're doing is for them. Whether they want to think that or not, that is why we do what we do every single day, is to have them be able to enjoy it, to put a smile on their face, to let them forget about everything that's going on in the world, and to just kick back and relax and enjoy what I consider to be the greatest form of entertainment in the world.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll get some more international calls. I'm sorry, we'll get some more international calls, then we'll wrap up before the comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move next to Alistair McGeorge with Metro UK.
Hi, Paul. How's it going?
Good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. You spoke really highly at the top of the call about Pat McAfee, and I was just wondering, could this match lead to something more long-term or permanent for him in the ring? And also, how do you kind of assess his early potential compared to other crossover talents?
We'll see. Obviously, Pat is an amazing athlete. I think he said it in one of the interviews he did, where he said, like, this is like the, he's made millions of dollars in 7 different professions, and he's a guy that was an incredibly high-level athlete at professional sports that ended up getting offered a ton of money to be a kicker in the NFL and took it.
Yeah.
But he grew up a WWE fan and always dreamed about doing this. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I'll be honest with you, when I first met Pat, and he came to some shows, and we talked to him about doing some stuff with us and doing some, the pre-shows and some commentary. I didn't understand his level of fan, that he grew up being. I didn't understand his level of desire to actually do this, and to not only, he wasn't looking to come in and just, I'll just be a little part of it or something like that, like a celebrity. So he was looking to come in and be a WWE superstar. He was looking to have an opportunity and an avenue for that. Here he is. We'll see where that goes. I can tell you this: I've seen a video. I've watched him train now. He's a natural. He is athletically gifted in a way that very few people are. And, that's for the last however many years, not even counting my in-ring career. It's just watching talent, right? And through the process of recruiting and everything else, seeing people, I see very few people that come in as athletically gifted as he is. On top of that, even if you didn't know that, you go like, wow, his charisma and his personality are off the chart. His gift of gab, it's getting him to stop talking. That's the issue, not getting him started. All the tools are there. What he does with them is on him, right? So where this goes, I can't 100% say, but the reason I'm putting him in that spot, the reason why he's doing this with us in NXT, where the level of performance is what matters, and the scrutiny will be different, right? That there's a reason why he's doing it there, because I believe that he has that skill set and the ability to do it. Now, that being said, he's working with probably the most gifted guy, or at least one of, for sure, but maybe the most gifted guy on our roster. And if I was going to say, who would I say can pull a great match out of anybody, it's Adam Cole. So I'm looking forward to this being spectacular on both their sides. I know they both want it to be, and I think you're going to see something special. Where that goes, it also depends on Pat. He's got a lot of irons and a lot of fires and a lot of opportunity out there. But I know he's very hungry for this and looking forward to making this something special.
Fantastic. Cheers for your time and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
We'll move next to Nim Azur with SEN Radio Australia.
Hey, Nim.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going fantastically. Really gunning for NXT this weekend. I want to focus on one talent that we in Australia have had our eyes on for a long time, and I know that you've had your eyes on too, considering the amount of Aussies that are in NXT. But Bronson Reed, he's going to be in a ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. This is probably one of the biggest matches for an Australian superstar since Buddy Murphy's original run in NXT. What's your thoughts of Bronson from what you've seen? Because he doesn't look like your prototype sort of superstar. He's a very different looking cat. But what are your thoughts when you first saw him and how he sort of progressed from day one in NXT to where he is before his TakeOver debut?
So I love it's funny you say, like, he's not the prototypical look or whatever. Like, that's what I love about it. It's not the same. Like, I love the differences in everybody and not looking for one model, not looking for one model of what people look like, talk like, how they perform in the ring. We want them to be themselves and do their own thing, but it's hard when they walk through the door. There's a preconceived expectation of what we're looking for sometimes, and as much as you say, come on, let go. I've seen you do this before you came here. Let go and be yourself. It's hard to get people to do that because they believe they know what you want and what everything that's being looked for. There's a lot of factors that go into this. Intimidation factors of walking in the door, performing on a different platform, leaving home, coming into a completely different country, different world. All those things, they're all factors in people's success rate and their speed. But at the same point in time, while he's had every tool and gift there, you want it to be when he is ready to be able to utilize all those things and be able to succeed in the biggest way possible. So if he's uncomfortable, if he's not quite there in his own mind or whatever that is, you give little bits and pieces and see how it goes. He's there now. He's ready. It's amazing to me. It's funny, there's another guy that a similar thing. Keith Lee and I were talking about it the other day, and Keith, he was in the ring doing something, and Keith and I looked at him, and Keith said, "Man, I'm so proud of him. Like, he's really come into his own in this brand recently, and it takes a minute for you to realize that, I think, and everybody has their own time frame of that, but then to come into your own in the environment and really become comfortable with it. I go back to the story Stone Cold Steve Austin used to tell all the time about, Vince standing at the curtain and watching somebody work and Steve putting him over, and then Vince saying to Steve, like, "Yeah, I really hope that guy, I hope he gets over." And it dawning on Steve that what he means, I'm going to give him the opportunity, let's see what he does with it. That's what a lot of this is. It's about that opportunity and what can you do with it. And for a guy like Bronson now, as he's getting that opportunity, man, he is just knocking it out of the park every single week. And his future's bright. To me, it's can't say enough good stuff about him. And I'm excited this Saturday. He's one of those guys that at way up into the 300-pound range, climbing an 8 or a 10 or a 12-foot ladder, and it's not the climb, it's the coming down part that gets a bit skiffy, but he can do all of that stuff. So where usually you look at the smaller guys and go, oh my God, there's going to be a bunch of crazy flips and all that stuff. You look at him and go like, yeah, but there's going to be a 400-pound version of that. It's a different game, and he's a game-changing talent in a lot of ways, and can't say enough good stuff about him, and he's really hit a comfort level now where I think he's ready to go, and just sky's the limit.
Well, on behalf of Australia, we love how well you've been looked after, our talented superstars there. We've got plenty more if you need any, but thanks so much for your time, and fingers crossed we get to see you on our shores at some point in time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be there soon. I know you guys are a little bit more open. Hopefully we'll be there soon. But just so everybody there is aware, Australia is one of my favorite shopping places for talent. So look forward to being there soon.
We'll keep that in mind. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up today's conference call. I'm just going to turn it back over to Paul for closing comments.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for the call and the questions, all of it. Having this ability for all of you to have an open door policy on the questions and everything like that for me is very meaningful, and thank you for doing it. I would like to, because I thought it might come up in the call and it did, but I would like to talk about the new programming on WWE Network, and that is, with Evolve and Progress and WXW and Insane Championship Wrestling, just ICW coming into the mix, and us being able to put those on platforms. I know there's been a lot of talk about those over the last few years, conversations around if and when and all of that, and you see it now at a place where we're at. I'm really excited about that. The opportunity for these other promotions and for the ability for everybody to see young talent, up-and-coming talent, returning talent, whatever that is, but to see the different styles, the different things that we get to see on a regular basis. It's not easy to get to catch all of it. We're hoping to be able to put that all into one place and kind of have the network, WWE Network, be a hub for all those things. You'll see more announcements on that, I'm sure, and more opportunities for people. So it's a very exciting time, and that's something that we've been working on for a few years, and here we are now, and it's coming to fruition, and people seeing it. So it's very exciting for me, and them being able to put their content out there and show it to the world, because they're really great promotions, and I'm excited to work with all of them. As far as that, the rest of it goes, thank you for your participation. NXT tonight should be great, leading us to NXT TakeOver 30 this Saturday. I believe this is another NXT TakeOver. We talk about them all the time, but this is one you won't want to miss. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be in touch for our usual post-show call after TakeOver is over. Have a good day, everybody.